What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you how to properly store your Nitro car or truck or your Nitro model if you're not going to be running it for a while. This is mostly only for if you're going to be letting it sit for longer than 2-3 weeks. It's going to be a little bit of what you should do step by step and a little bit of after run maintenance. So let's get started. So the first step was what you should do is remove all the, the first step that I like to do is get some compressed air, or if you got a vacuum cleaner that's got a reverse option that it'll blow instead of suck, you can use that. And use your favorite kind of RC cleaner. If you got Moo Clean from Cal RC or any kind of RC cleaner or degreaser, go ahead and spray it all over your RC. And just get, or you can just get, mine's not that dirty, so I'm just going to be using compressed air and just blow it off everywhere really good. Get the engine really good, blow down inside the engine around the glow plug really good, because we're going to be removing the glow plug. Blow around the air filter housing real good, so get everything extremely good. So I'll get back with you when I get done. Alright, now that we're done blowing it off and we got it pretty clean, get your fuel bottle, or you can just dump it out on the ground. But what we're going to be doing is just getting all the fuel out of the gas tank. So get your fuel bottle or whatever you're going to be using, turkey baster sucker, whatever you want to, or you can just open the fuel cap and turn it upside down and let it drip out on the ground. But we're going to be removing all the fuel from the tank. Okay, so after you get the majority of the fuel out of the tank, we're going to, if you got a pull starter or an electric starter, what we're going to do is we're going to try to start the Nitro up. You're going to put your finger over the exhaust and prime it while you're trying to start it until it fires up. And we're going to let it burn. We're going to let it run until it goes dead. Let it burn all that fuel up that's inside of the fuel lines in the fuel tank and inside the engine until it goes dead. And that's because if you don't want to leave no fuel inside the fuel tank, because it'll corrode and rust the steel inlets and and it'll gunk up your fuel lines, and it'll gunk up your carburetor if you let the fuel sit too long inside of the, like my Revo and Slayer, they got 2 Phillips head screws in the fuel tank and they rust pretty easy over time. So this is why you need to remove all the fuel from your tank. So we'll get back to you after it goes dead and it burns all the fuel up. Okay, so it died. It burned all the fuel up in the fuel tank and the fuel lines. But what we're going to do is get your glow igniter and your pull start or your easy start, and we're going to try to crank it a few more times. Go ahead and put your finger over the exhaust and go ahead and try to crank it. And keep going until you hear it no longer sputter, pop, or try to start. Do it until it will not start no longer. So that's pretty good right there. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the air filter. And we're going to remove the glow plug. Do not take your air filter off and do not remove your glow plug unless you've blowed these areas out and you've cleaned them really well. You don't want no dirt or trash or debris or water or anything to get down inside your engine. So do not do this until you've cleaned it. That's why we cleaned it first. So go ahead and remove the glow plug and the air filter. I'm going to have to flip it upside down to get the copper ring to come out. Yeah, make sure you get the copper ring out. If it don't come out with a glow plug, make sure you flip it upside down and get the copper ring out. And the ring I'm talking about is that right there. It goes on the glow plug, in between the glow plug and the coolant head. Okay. So now what we're going to do is get you some rubbing alcohol. Get you some rubbing alcohol or afterrun oil. This is some extremely good afterrun oil. I highly recommend this afterrun oil. This afterrun oil, since I've been using it, it keeps my engines cleaner. It keeps them lubricated, and I love it. It's the best afterrun oil I've ever used. I got it off eBay, and I think it was like $15 or $12, but I highly recommend this. But get you some rubbing alcohol or afterrun oil and put a few drops in the fuel tank. Put a few drops in the fuel tank. Now, put a few drops inside the carburetor. And go ahead and open and close the carburetor with your remote. Give it throttle. And put you a few drops down inside the coolant head. Down in the glow plug hole. Alright, after you've done that, go ahead and get your pull start or your easy start. And put your finger over the exhaust. And go ahead and try to start, or go ahead and turn the engine over. Pull it with your pull start or hit the button with the easy start while you got your finger over the exhaust. And that's going to prime that the afterrun oil that we put in the fuel tank through the fuel line into the carburetor needles, so it'll keep our carburetor clean and keep it from gumming up. Do that and count to 15. Now after you do that, go ahead and get your afterrun oil. Put a few more drops down inside the carburetor hole. I use a pretty good bit. And put a pretty good bit down inside the top of the coolant head of the engine. And go ahead and just bump it. Just do this. Bump it 5 times slowly like that. Then hold it down and count to 15. You may want to get a rag, a clean cloth, or a clean paper towel and stick over the top of the engine head, because it's going to shoot the excess afterrun all out. So hold the rag over the top of the coolant head and count to 15 while you either pull start it or easy start it. Okay, what that does is that gets the afterrun oil everywhere inside the engine. It gets everything coated real nice and good, so it'll keep it from rusting. It'll help your bearings, keep them from having a dry start, and all the other internal parts from having a dry start, because everything's going to be well lubricated. It's not going to rust, and your engine's going to be much cleaner if you do this. So now go ahead and hold the Nitro model upside down and try to pull start it or easy start it while it's upside down, so we'll get all that excess oil out. Do that and count till 10. Then flip it over. If you don't do that, you run the risk of hydro locking your engine up next time you go to run it with all that afterrun oil. So make sure you do that. Okay, next we're going to get our glow plug. We're going to get our glow plug and we're going to stick it back down inside the coolant head. I'm going to reattach my glow plug wire. Now we're going to move on to the air filter. Get your air filter and we're going to go in and clean it. Now I'll be right back when we get everything ready. Now this is a dual stage filter. It's got a filter on the outside and then a filter on the inside. So I'm going to take this apart. Put the screw to the side. Pull the cover off. Now pull the air filter apart. See, there's an inner stage filter and an outer stage filter. Set them to the side. And this air filter's got more components to it, and I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and get ready to start cleaning it. So I got my air filter took apart, and I'm going to be using this engine degreaser. but you can use regular Dawn dish soap or any kind of dish soap or any kind of cleaner. Make sure it's not harsh on rubber, because the rubber intake boot of the carburetor will degrade and it'll get cracky and fall apart if you use some kind of harsh chemical. So I'm gonna spray everything with a degreaser. Then I'm gonna put my filters in. I'm gonna spray my filters. And I'm gonna use a toothbrush. I'm going to use a toothbrush and I'm going to clean all my parts to my filter. So I'll get back with you when I get done doing that. So the degreaser I'm using, it says you need to rinse it off with water. So I got hot water going. And if you're using dish soap, you rinse the dish soap off. I'm just going to be rinsing each part one by one until I get done with all the parts. The best way I found out to dry your air filters out, to get the water out of them, is stick them in a clean bathcloth or rag or paper towel and roll them up, and then step on it. And they'll be perfectly dry. Yeah, perfectly clean, perfectly dry, ready to use. The rest of the parts we're going to have to blow dry with the air compressor, or you can let them air dry, or you can dry them off with a rag, but I'm going to use compressed air. So here I got my wet carburetor parts. I'm just blow drying them all dry. Now I can start putting the air filter assembly back together. I'll get back to you when I get done with that. Alright, and as for the filter itself, if you're not going to be driving your Nitro for at least 3 weeks or a month, and it's going to be sitting for 3 weeks or a month or longer, do not oil your filters. Just put your filters back together without oil, because oil actually degrades the filters. That's what causes them to degrade and fall apart over time. But I'm going to be driving mine tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and oil them. So I got my inner filter, and I'm just going to go all the way around it like so, and then squeeze it all around in my hand. And that's going to spread all the oil out real good. That's going to get it all over the whole filter. And it should have a nice coating all over it. Not too much, not too little, just the right amount. And the outer part of the filter, if you're going to be running it in sand, do not oil it. Leave it dry. Just oil the inner filter. If you just got a single foam filter, go ahead and oil it. But if you got a dual stage filter and you're going to be running it in sand, do not oil the outside. Just oil the inside. But I'm going to be running mine mostly in grass and pavement, so I'm going to go ahead and oil the outside. And same thing, I'm just going to go all the way around it with a little bit of oil. And then squeeze it all around in my hand and get it all worked in. Get it all over the filter. Then I'm going to put my filter on. Now I can get my filter cover bracket piece and stick on the end and put the screw back in it. Now we can go ahead and put the air filter back on the Nitro. Okay, next, if your Nitro model was wet and or muddy and you had to wash it off and you got it wet, or you've been running it in moist, damp areas, you can use WD-40, but it's bad on your bearings. It'll cause your bearings to go bad because it dilutes the oil and grease in them. What I recommend is this WD-40 Specialist Silicone. I'm trying to get it to focus. You get this at Walmart or Lowe's. Let me get it to focus. There we go. You get it at Walmart or Lowe's. It's quick drying. It's waterproof, so it'll protect all your metal components from rusting. And it's multi-surface, so it'll make your plastic nice and shiny and slick and smooth. It's a lubricant, so it'll lubricate everything. Just go ahead and hit all the moving parts to your Nitro. Spray everything. This silicone is okay to do this with. This is very good for your RC model. It's safe on rubber and silicone. It's safe on plastic. It's safe on metal. It's safe on everything. Just don't spray your air filter real heavy. Just spray around the air filter. Flip it upside down and get all the bottom parts. Then get your compressed air and blow all the excess away. So I'll get back with you when I get done blowing the excess off. Okay, you see how shiny it is? It makes it look so much cleaner. Look how shiny it is now. I highly recommend using that silicone spray. Any kind of silicone spray. Walmart has their own brand for like $2 or $3. Or you can get the WD-40, which is my favorite brand. It's a little bit higher. I think it's like $8 to $12 a can, but it's highly worth it. It'll keep all your metal parts from rusting. It'll lubricate all your joints and components that moves around, and it's safe on rubber. It actually rejuvenates the rubber parts, which I usually go over my rubber parts with this 3-in-1 RV Care Rubber Seal Conditioner. This will keep all your rubber parts soft and smooth. It keeps them from dry rotting and cracking. But since I use the silicone, I won't have to use this because the silicone does the same thing for rubber parts. And that's pretty much it, guys. Now you can let your Nitro sit for a good while. And there's many more things you can do if you want to go through all your bearings, and if you want to take it apart and check all your greases, like your differential fluids and your gear grease. Or if you want to check all your bearings and realign your steering and toe links and all your suspension work. There's plenty of aftermarket afterrun procedures you can do, but this is just the basic steps that I use when I'm going to be letting my Nitro sit for more than a week. So we got it all cleaned up. We got an afterrun where the engine won't rust. We got the fuel tank taken care of where it won't corrode on the inside or gum up. The carburetor's taken care of. The air filter's taken care of. And that's the most important parts to your Nitro model. That's the whole livelihood of your Nitro model. We got them all taken care of. And we got the Nitro model looking clean and fresh. So now you can let it sit and you won't worry about anything bad happening to it. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. I hope y'all have a good day, and I really appreciate everyone that watches my videos. I'm not the best YouTuber. I just have started out on YouTube. I got a lot to learn making good videos. I'm just a simple guy that likes Nitros. I've been in this hobby for many years. I used to work at my local hobby shop, so I know a good bit about Nitro engines and how to take care of them. And trust me, if you do this afterrun procedure that we just done, your Nitro engine it'll live longer, it'll be happier, and it'll run better. And your Nitro will thank you. Your Nitro will love this. So guys, thanks again for watching. See y'all next time.